Have you ever thought of how a business owner feels when his business premises is being gutted with fire? Or a landlord, or even a tenant, his building or his residential apartment is gutted with fire while he is in his place of work? Exactly what this section is going to focus about. It's going to emphasize the need of having fire protection device in your building. And for those who already have a fire protection device, to frequently check how effective these fire protection devices are. With this, I welcome you to Delwood's Electrical YouTube channel. My name is Daniel Nokoka, and I believe you'll be able to gain one or two things from this section. Today, we are going to be talking extensively on how often you should check or test your fire protection devices. Most buildings today have these fire protection devices installed, and for the past 5-10 years that it has been installed, you've not bothered to check how effective it is. And whenever fire incidents occurs and it refuses to work or doesn't work as installed, you'll start complaining or blaming the installers that why did it not work. So please, we're going to be working on this National Fire Standards Authority, NFHA. We're going to be talking seriously on their standard, and let us see how we are going to integrate that into our building facilities. Now, NFHA has stated that it's not only about installation of fire protection devices, it's paramount for all commercial buildings. You must have fire protection devices. It has stipulated that you should have either fire extinguisher or both, fire hoseway, the sprinkler system, and fire hydrant. So for commercial buildings. But for residential buildings, you could just have your smoke detectors, break glass and fire alarm systems, and probably your fire extinguisher. But how often do you need to check? Because our focus now is not all about telling you to go and install. We've talked about that previously. Our focus in this section is to tell you to check how efficient, how efficacious your installation is at the time when it is needed for it to operate. So NFHA has stated that for fire extinguishers, you should check it monthly. Now, we're not saying you should change the gas in it monthly. What I'm saying is that to check if the gun is working properly, if there's any crack around. So that's what the physical observation is. At least you should have a physical observation monthly. So for your health, for your safety department, they should go around and check it monthly and see if it's still in a good physical condition. Then every 6 months, you should enable to change the gas. Wherever you go and change the gas system, they normally put a sticker on the extinguisher. That's to let you know that this is when it's supposed to expire and you are required to renew it. So usually 6 months. So please check and see if yours is within that period and you do that. So monthly, you are supposed to do that. The second one is the sprinkler system. Now, if you go to most hotels or commercial buildings, you would see things like pipes on the roof. It comes down with hole like your shower system, dotted. So that's a fire sprinkler system. So that when, for example, this room is gutted with fire, it triggers, and water will start coming automatically to subside the fire system. So the NFHA has stated that every quarter you should check for leakages, for corrosion, or whatever. Check it and ensure that it's working in good condition. Some hotels, they don't even bother. It has been installed, it has been installed. So please, you are not saying you should just go around, check and see if it is still in good condition. If it's in good condition, better for. If it's not, you call your workman, your technician to come and fix it up, so that whenever there's a fire incident, you don't have anybody to blame. It works perfectly. Then for the break glass, fire detector, smoke detector, heat detector, that is obviously, it says you should do it at least twice a year, semi-annually. So we know that our break glass hardly gets damaged. I know for sure, but that does not mean that you shouldn't check your heat detector, your smoke detector, and then once in a year, go there, bring fire close to it and see if it's going to sound. If it sounds, clap for yourself and go back to rest. If it doesn't, you look for a way to fix it up. So that is very, very important. So that is twice a year. So you could decide that every January I will do my maintenance, then every July the next one. So if you put that into consideration, you'll be safe whenever there is a fire accident. And usually, even if your business establishment is insured, you say, okay, I pay for insurance every year. So why do I need to check all this? You know, when there's an accident, your insurance company will come and inspect what was the cause of this fire outbreak. If they discover that your fire protection system was not in place, that might reduce the amount of compensation you get from your insurance firm. So it's advised that you make preparation for all your fire protection devices. The last one is a fire hydrant. Now, fire hydrants are all those bulkhead materials that you could connect your hose to and extinguish fire whenever there's a fire outbreak. Most times, the underground tank can spend 10 years, 20 years without you even using it. So what the NFHA is saying is that every 2 years, every year, yearly, once a year, you should ensure that your fire hydrant is working. Why? What are you going to check for? Now, your fire hydrant is usually not connected to the water tank of your regular building. Water tank that supplies your water heater, that supplies your kitchen, that supplies your bathroom. It has a different underground storage or overhead storage. The fire hydrant has its own separate storage, because if you combine both of them, there might be a fire incident and that day you've not pumped water and there might be no water for you to extinguish your fire. So your underground tank must be checked regularly. You call a plumber to check if the pipes are still in good condition once a year. Then check also if water that you are pumping gets into the tank regularly, and the water that has been there for a very long time, check if it has blocked any of the holes or the outlets of the water. So once a year, it's advised to use the fire hydrant. Now, for commercial buildings that don't have fire hydrant installed, this is a call to action. Most times you blame the fire service department for coming to your rescue without water facilities. Yes, it's a bad side on their own part, but if you have an hydrant, it's easy for them to connect their hose directly to it and help you extinguish your fire when there's a fire outbreak. So I believe that this is very important, and all buildings that don't have fire protection device, irrespective of the time, it's advised that you go and install them now. And for those of you that have already fire protection system installed in your buildings, try as much as possible to regularly check them according to this requirement, so as to ensure that when there's a fire outbreak, your equipment function. If you are very interested in fire extinguishing, kindly check the NFHA 25. There are a lot of codes, a lot of articles that talks on that. So I believe I've been able to educate you on how often you should frequently check your fire protection devices. If this video has been very useful to you, kindly click on the subscription button to subscribe to our channel, and you could share this video to your friends to enlighten them on the need to be fire safety conscious, because fire disaster is usually not a good thing, not a good sight to see. Thank you very much, and see you in our subsequent video.